Yeah, the move. Whatever hand you hit, you move to that side. Left hook, boom! You gotta think of throwing punches. Your job is to throw punches.
Becoming sheep.
Anthony Joshua is reportedly training with Mike Tyson as he prepares for his upcoming fight against Jake Paul. Joshua has studied old-school techniques associated with Tyson's trainers to refine his skills, and his current focus remains on strategy, speed, and power. The camp emphasizes tactical planning and conditioning, aiming to ensure Joshua is fully prepared and at his best for the upcoming challenge in the ring. Anthony Joshua revealed how Mike Tyson inspired him, especially with his power and discipline. Now AJ has incorporated specific neck and shoulder exercises into his routine following Tyson's methods.
Oh, my physio's looking at me like, what the fuck? I can see you looking at me like, fuck, please don't fucking look. Hey, if it goes, at least you're here anyway. You know, 43,000 tuned in. Oh, mate. I know I started this shit.
Just trying to set up the physio table, put the flats on it.
Anything.
Get back up there.
I'm easy, boss.
Eat.
He says these drills help improve strength, stability, and punching impact, showing how studying legends can directly shape his own training approach. Anthony Joshua is training intensively in camp, adopting elements of Mike Tyson's style. He includes specialized neck rolls and strength exercises to build resilience and power, focusing on overall conditioning, speed, and technique. The workouts are designed to enhance his punching impact.
Anthony Joshua 50-50 fight, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But, as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world...
Agility and endurance, showing how AJ is fully committed to refining his skills and dominating in the ring. Eddie Hearn has made it very clear that he believes Anthony Joshua would defeat Jake Paul if the fight were to happen. Hearn stresses that although Jake Paul is not considered a top-level boxer or a big name in traditional boxing circles, people should not assume that Joshua's victory would be effortless. Hearn points out that Joshua has a history of defeating formidable opponents, including Francis Ngannou, who is an elite fighter in his own right. The comparison is important because it highlights that Joshua's wins are a result of his skill, preparation, and discipline rather than simply facing weak or untrained opponents.
Joshua and
Oh,
Jake.
no. I'm not even really entertaining that. It's just not. Being a two-time heavyweight champion of the world, it's I don't know, YouTubers. I'm not really into all them influencers coming in there, and there's like some boxers that really work their butt off, don't get paid like what these guys are getting. And Anthony Joshua being a former world champion should be fighting like someone in the top 5, top 10. So I really got much time to talk about that. Not interested really.
Bad for boxing?
Well, not bad for boxing. If people want to pay to watch it, then who am I? I'm just giving you my opinion. Who's not worked his way through the ranks to earn that shot at the former world champion? No, not at all.
Australian boxing. Who are you a fan of? Obviously got good fighters out there.
Jai. Joe's my type of fighter. He's very spiteful, and yeah, it's just another level, really. I don't think there's no better cruiserweight around.
Hearn emphasizes that Joshua trains rigorously and has a combination of power, technique, and strategy that allows him to dominate fighters at every level. Nigel Benn expresses concerns about the effect of entertainment-driven fights on professional boxing. He believes that when celebrities or social media personalities enter the ring, it creates a situation where traditional boxers who dedicate their lives to training and competing at a high level do not receive their fair share of financial reward.
Someone knocks on your door and says, "Do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million?" You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be and should be easy work for AJ. Like, well, why are you going to turn down 100 million? AJ should and could, more should, knock out Jake Paul in a round. In a round. Like, if Jake Paul was over here fighting under our British Boxing Board of Control, I don't think it would be a Southern Area Cruiserweight champion. AJ is a former unified heavyweight champion of the world that I still believe is a top 10 heavyweight in the world. Just. Like, AJ should be able to destroy him. AJ is going to be 60 pounds or so bigger than him. AJ hits like a truck. AJ is a better boxer.
Ben points out that the pay for real competitive boxers is often modest compared to the massive sums offered in crossover events that generate public interest and viral attention. These kinds of spectacle fights draw huge audiences and sponsorship deals which translate into very large paydays for participants who may not have the same level of experience or skill. Ben argues that this trend could be harmful for the sport because it undermines the efforts of professional boxers who have spent years honing their craft. Adola highlights the financial perspective of the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight. From Oladipo's point of view,
gets in the ring with YouTuber Jake Paul, and that's what he is, YouTuber Jake Paul. Would you watch it? Simon, before we take some calls, with this seemingly in the pipeline, can we safely say goodbye to Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury?
Well, I think it's done anyway, judging by the mood music that seems to be coming out from various camps. If you listen to Tyson Fury, he seems to be, despite the fact we've danced this dance before and walked this walk before, he seems to be talking in a very different way. There's no hyperbole. It's, I'm done. This is a younger man's game. I've done my bit. I'm at peace with where I am in life. I don't need boxing anymore. But not in the flash for cash way that Tyson often does it. In a more earnest way is my understanding of his sort of thought processes. So with that in mind, it almost feels that that's off the table anyway. Who knows? The draw of the enormous amounts of money that this one fight can generate. This is the one fight that can really get everybody paid. I mean, the two protagonists. Whatever Usyk takes, tragically for him, he wouldn't even get anywhere near as much money as potentially being offered for the Fury-Joshua fight.
What would earn AJ more of a pay packet, fighting Fury or fighting Jake Paul?
Well, I would think tragically fighting Jake Paul.
God, what is that?
Because the revenues, because it's a Gen Z TikTok generation that wants to watch sport in a certain way.
Yeah,
and that's nothing critical of them. It's just the way that it is. And that's the circumstances of social media and the platforms that people like Jake Paul are able to cross over. It's not a case of people in the mainstream should be dinosaurs. The digital world and those opportunities and those platforms are marvelous places. And you know, you heard me talking about Mark Goldbridge the other day and the commercial deal that he did with the Bundesliga. And we can be sniffy about their level of content, or we can accept that there is a place for everybody. It's interesting that still the digital world and...
It would be unwise for Joshua to reject such a lucrative opportunity, as the earnings could approach $100 million. For a fighter of Joshua's caliber and experience, the challenge posed by Jake Paul is minimal compared to the reward, making the fight a very low-risk, high-reward scenario. Oladipo stresses that this kind of financial windfall is rare in boxing, even for top-level champions, and taking advantage of it is a smart career move.
Than the Mike Tyson fight. It's hard to say, really. Tyson was a big name, but it's going to do numbers regardless, because Joshua is a big name, and then people are going to be tuning in to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right now, Eddie Hearn talks about Jake Paul taking this Joshua fight.
I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signed to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. Like, you know, I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, you know, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, you know, because AJ wouldn't mess around in there, you know. So it would be huge, but nothing, you know, to tell you it's close. Just a few conversations so far.
Damn right, if Jake Paul takes this fight, he's got some major balls on him. And I know people hate influencer boxing, but come on, he's not fighting an old, retired, past the prime MMA fighter. No, he's fighting a legit boxer who's massive, 6'5", 6'6", jacked, 240, 250 pounds, shredded, power puncher. Do we need to remind ourselves of what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou was coming off a pretty good performance over Tyson Fury. He didn't get the win in that fight, but you could argue that he did actually win that fight. And Ngannou, throughout his entire MMA career, in 4-ounce gloves, very, very rarely got hit. He could take a punch. He's got a big, fat African head. Big, thick neck, traps, back. He just can't really be hit. And look what
He argues that Joshua is in a position where he can combine financial gain with a manageable level of risk given Paul's relative inexperience as a professional boxer. A large portion of boxing fans are vocal in their criticism of the idea of Anthony Joshua fighting Jake Paul.
And if we were to see AJ step in with Jake Paul,
I said it yesterday, I'll say it again, I think it's fast. I don't see how it's going to materialise. I didn't think the tank fight would materialise, and it didn't. And you know, it's all good saying that you're going to box somebody, and then, you know, but until literally they're on the ring walk and in the ring, and I'm not going to believe it.
away from AJ, what do you make of the Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. fight next week?
It's an interesting fight. Haney's up at 147. He looks good. He looks physically good. It's mad to think he's only 26 years of age. Confident-wise, I don't know what that Garcia fight took out of him. You know, because yes, he tested positive afterwards, but I believe that his Achilles heel is punch resistance, and I think, you know, it'll be interesting. I don't know enough about Norman, but I think, you know, definitely test him, and maybe Devin Haney will hold a better shot now. He's up at 147. But yeah, it's an exciting matchup. You know, I think it's a.
Many fans feel that this matchup represents the biggest mockery of professional boxing, as it pits a seasoned heavyweight champion against a social media personality who lacks experience in traditional boxing circuits. Fans worry that Joshua's decision to accept the fight with Paul may prevent him from pursuing a potential bout with Tyson Fury, a more legitimate and challenging heavyweight opponent. For these critics, the fight appears to prioritize financial incentives over the sport's competitive and historical integrity. Social media and forums are full of discussions highlighting frustration with the mismatch, and fans often question whether Joshua's legacy could be tarnished by participating in such an event.